So now we'll talk about that what type of bonds formed means when your atomic orbitals overlap with each other. Na? When your atomic orbitals combine, what different types of bonds form. So there are two types of covalent bond. One is sigma bond and second one is another bond. Okay. Another one is your pi bond. So there are two types of covalent bond. Sigma, the sign for sigma bond is this, and sign for pi bond is this. And I think you're familiar with this pi sign. Okay. Next is, first we'll talk about sigma bond. How sigma bond form, what is sigma bond form, and when do this bond form. So sigma bond, this type of covalent bond is formed by end-to-end overlapping or head-on overlapping, or you can say head-to-head overlapping. As you can see in this diagram, let me show you the diagram. This is the diagram where head-to-head overlapping is there. When your atomic orbitals overlap end to end. End to end means one end overlap with the another end, or you can say one head overlap with the another head, then sigma bond form. All right. Overlap bonding orbitals along the internuclear axis. This is called as head-on overlap or axial overlap. The scientific name for this is axial overlap. So this can be formed by any one of the following type of combination of atomic orbitals. So it can be formed in any type of combination. As you can see, this is p orbital, this is round one, is this is spherical is s orbital. If s and p are combining, even they are forming sigma bonding. And even though the p orbitals combine end to end, both the lobes of atomic orbitals combine end to end or axially, they form sigma bond. All right. Next is, when do sigma bond form? When there is a overlapping, the time orbital undergo overlap and hence one of them are formed. So what happened? When your atomic orbitals combine, they just form a new bond system, or you can say a new bond, that is known as the covalent bonding or sigma bonding. So head to head overlapping, end to end overlapping, or your axial overlapping is known as sigma bonding. Okay. So there are different types of overlapping. When your s orbital combine, s matlab both are spherical. Both s orbital combine, they form ss overlapping. When one s and one p combine, they form sp overlapping, as I have told you just before shown you in the picture. And when your p orbital combine, both p's, at that time that is known as pp overlap. SPD shows about the atomic orbital. So let us talk about first SS overlapping. In this case, there is the overlap of half filled one S along with the internuclear axis. Means when your one S is combined with another S, head-to-head overlapping will be there. And generally SS orbital forms only sigma bond. Why? Because S are spherical. So in all the direction of your sphere, when two spheres combine, they show same type of bond. All right. So that is why they just overlap with each other and form sigma bond. Now let us talk about S and P overlap. This type of overlap occurs between half-filled s orbital of atom and half-filled p orbital of another atom. If I am having my outermost participating shell is S and yours is P, and if what happen, if we want to share our electron or donate our electron, so if I am donating my electron to you, so what happened? Your p orbital is participating and mine as s orbital is participating. So at that time, that overlapping will be s and p overlapping. When both the p orbital overlaps, so what happened? This type of overlapping takes place between the half-filled p orbitals of two approaching atoms. If in both the atoms, the outermost participating shell is p, and in both the atoms only that p orbital is overlapped or taking part in bond formation, that forms pp overlapping. As you can see in this, s overlapping, it means s is spherical. The shape of s orbital is spherical. The p orbital shape is dumbbell and the d is double dumbbell. When we go down to the chapter, we'll learn about the shapes of the orbitals. So what happened, beta? Listen. when you add something, it means the size of that final product will increase. If you minus something, the size of the orbital decrease. We'll just understand this thing with the help of an example. If I'm having a dough ball, two dough balls with me, dough balls means आटा ले लें हम, गीला आटा जिससे मम्मा चपाती बनाती हैं आपकी, तो मेरे पास I have two balls of same size. Okay, if I divide them, ma'am, if I make two parts out of one dough ball, what happens? The size decreases, the amount decreases, everything decreases. Okay, but if I add on my both the dough balls together, the size of final dough ball increases. So same thing happened with the atomic orbitals. When the overlapping takes place, positive overlapping, when positive overlapping takes place, what happens? The new orbital thus formed is of large size as compared to their parent atom, as you can see in this diagram. When we see normal p orbital, both the lobes are of same size, but as you can see in overlapping, the ss orbitals combined head-to-head overlapping is there, and they form a sigma bond. And when we'll talk about the sp overlapping, p orbital combined with the s orbital, and you can see the size of this lobe increases because of this overlapping. Next, let's just move to the p orbital. When pp, both the heads of p orbital combine together, the size of the new atomic orbital, which is formed because of overlapping, is actually increases. Okay, this we will understand in detail when we'll go down to the chapter. Next topic, MOT explains this thing very, very clearly. Okay, so this is how your atomic orbitals combine or overlap with. So let's just move to the pi bonding. In the formation of pi bonds, the atomic orbital overlap in such way their axes remain parallel to each other. Parallel, as you can see, both the axes are parallel in p bonding. In p orbital, both the axes are parallel to each other. They are not overlapping head to head. They are just overlapping parallelly. So this type of overlapping is known as sidewise overlapping. Okay, when sides of the atomic orbital overlap with each other. So this thing only happen in p orbital and d orbital. S is spherical, so side to side overlapping is not possible there in s orbitals. Okay, so axials remain parallel to each other and perpendicular to the internuclear axis. The orbital formed due to the sidewise overlap consists of two saucer type charged clouds above and below the panel of the participating orbit. So for example, if I consider this node as the panel of the axis, so what happened? One lobe is above it and another lobe is down of this axis. Okay, so when they combine with each other, pp overlapping is there. This is known as sidewise overlapping. Both the p orbitals combine, so they just thus form a new orbital with large size. I've just explained you this thing. When atomic orbitals combine, overlap with each other positively, in positive overlapping, the size of atomic orbital increases. So this is the new formed orbitals, you can say. Okay, so side to side overlapping led to the formation of pi bonding. Now we'll talk about the strength of sigma and pi bond. That which one is stronger, either sigma or pi? Why? So basically, the strength of both bonds depend upon the extent of overlapping. This is the most important point. Extent of overlapping means, extent of overlapping will be like this. Okay, if I'm joining both my hands with the fingers by means attaching both the hands together, or by like attaching my hands with the elbows. अगर मैंने अपने दोनों हाथों को फिंगर से पकड़ा है तो ये लेस ओवरलैपिंग है. अगर मैंने दोनों हाथ को अच्छे से, जैसे हम शेक हैंड करते हैं, इस तरीके से पकड़ लेते हैं, तो वो थोड़ी टाइट बॉन्डिंग होगी एज कंपेयर टू द फिंगर वन. एंड इफ आई जॉइन माय हैंड्स बाय अटैचिंग थ्रू द एल्बोज, जब हम पूरी एल्बो अंदर तक पकड़ लेंगे और हाथ से अच्छी ग्रिप बना लेंगे, तो तीनों में सबसे स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट कौन सा होगा? एल्बो वन. वीकेस्ट वन इज फिंगर वन. So why this thing happened? Because of extent of overlapping. If overlapping is less, it means bond will be weak. And if extent of overlapping is deeper into the atomic orbital, at that time your strength of the bond will be weak. So in case of sigma bond, the overlapping of orbitals takes place at a large extent. So when we talk about sigma bonding, head-to-head overlapping will be there. So one orbital can merge to a maximum limit into another orbital. But this can only happen in head-to-head overlapping. But when we talk about side-to-side overlapping, there is a difference. Okay. So hence when overlapping takes place on large extent in sigma bond, therefore sigma bond. Hence it is a stronger as compared to pi bond, where the extent of overlapping occur at a smaller extent. Okay. But in pi bond, the extent of overlapping is less as compared to that. It causes weakening of the bond. So further, it is important to note that in formation of multiple bonds between the two atoms of molecules, pi bonds is formed in addition to a sigma bond. So sigma bond is the main bond of your compound. Pi bond is the additional bond which forms because of side to side overlapping of atomic orbitals. So if you want to compare the strength, the sigma bond is much more stronger than the pi bond. All right. So if we talk about the means occurrence of sigma bond and pi bond, so if we have single bond, it means sigma bond will be there, one sigma. If double bond is there, one sigma, one pi. And if triple bond is there, one sigma and two pi. Every time sigma bond will be there between the atomic orbitals, means, or you can say when atom combine, they combine with the sigma bond. But in case of multiple bond, except one or bond, other bonds are considered to be as pi bonds. Okay. So let us talk about most important thing of your chapter, hybridization. Pauling introduced the concept of hybridization. According to him, the atomic orbital combines to form new set of equivalent orbitals known as hybrid orbitals. A basic fact is we have understand that atomic orbitals combine, head-to-head overlapping, side-to-side overlapping. But why the atomic orbitals combine? They combine to form new atomic orbitals of equivalent energy. Equivalent energy means nearly similar energy. Unlike pure orbitals, the hybrid orbitals are used in bond formation. The phenomenon is known as hybridization, which can be defined as the process of intermixing of orbitals of slightly different energies so as to redistribute their energy, resulting in the formation of new set of orbitals of equivalent energy and state. So what happens when your atomic orbitals combine? So for example, let me talk about s orbital and p orbital. If s or p are combining, it means they both have different energies, or you can just say they have means they have a slight difference in their energy. But when s or p orbital combine together, they form a new orbital which consists of nearly similar energy, or you can say equivalent energy of both the atomic orbital as well as shape. Okay, so all those orbitals which are intermixed with each other or combined with each other, they have slight difference in their energies, and the new orbital formed by the overlapping of these orbitals will lead to the formation of new orbital which has means equivalent energy and shape to the parent orbital. Okay, so for example, when 1 2s and 3 2p of carbon hybridize, there is in the formation of 4 new sp3 hybridization. So what happened if 2s 2s matlab the second, the s subshell of the second means the s orbital of the second shell combined with 2p orbitals means 3 3p 2p के orbitals means 2px 2p 2py 2px 2py 2pz. if your 2s combine with 3 orbitals of p, at that time the hybridization orbital that form will be sp3, in which we have one s orbital and 3p orbitals which combine together and form a new hybrid orbital. Okay. Silent features of hybridization. The number of hybrid orbital is equal to the number of atomic orbitals that get hybrid. So the number means the number of newly formed hybrid orbitals, or you can say hybrid orbital, will be equal to the atomic orbitals that get hybrid. If, as I think we have just seen an example, if 1s and 3p are combining, so at that time new hybrid orbital will be sp3. So we just do sum total of all the atomic orbital and named means new hybrid orbital. Okay. So the hybridized orbital are always equivalent in energy and shape. So these orbitals will always be equal in energy and in their shape as well. The hybrid orbitals are more effective in forming stable bonds than the pure atomic orbitals. So if we talk about stability, so hybrid orbitals are quite more stable than the pure atomic orbitals. Why? Because in pure atomic orbital, any element can come and donate its electron or accept the electron and combine with it. But hybrid orbital form when combination takes place, when the overlapping takes place, or you can say when the formation of bond takes place. If bond is formed, then there is no need to accept electron or donate electron to any other element. So that is why in stability, hybrid orbitals are more stable than the pure atomic orbitals. These hybrid orbitals are directed in shape in some preferred direction to have minimum repulsion between the electron pair and thus a stable arrangement. Therefore, the type of hybridization indicates the geometry of the molecule. We have studied that water molecules geometry is shape is bent shape. We just studied in previous topic about tetrahedral shape, pyramidal shape. So this actually explains us about the geometry, why the molecular shape, the water molecular shape is bent. That is because of the repulsion between the orbitals. So they just form at a place where minimum repulsion between the electron pairs is there, which results in the accurate geometry of the element or compound, you can say. Important conditions of hybridization. And that is important conditions of hybridization. The orbital present in the valency shell of an atom are hybridized. So all those orbitals which are present in the valency shell means outermost shell. And we know this thing that valency shell is the participating shell which take part in the bond formation. So that is why all those electrons which are present in the outermost shell, or you can say valency shell, are hybridized. Only they can participate in overlapping or bond formation, but other cannot. So that is why especially valency shell are hybridized. The orbitals undergoing hybridization should have almost equal energy. All right. So those orbitals which have like nearly equal energies, they can only hybridize, they can only overlap. But the orbitals which have difference in their energy, they will not overlap. For example, 1s will not combine with the 3d because there is much more difference between first shell 1s and 3d. Okay, so all those orbitals which have nearly similar energy can combine with each other. All right. So motion of electron is not essential condition prior to hybridization. Okay, so if you just when electron move from one means in like excited state from one energy level to another energy level, so it is not actually essential, but it on the main electron or the only the valency electron present in the outermost shell can take part in hybridization. It is not necessary that only half-filled orbital participate in hybridization. In some cases, even filled orbital of valency shell can take part in hybridization. This thing actually happen when when your electrons move from lower energy level to higher energy level and become unpaired. How? For example, in carbon, in ground state, carbon's electronic configuration is 2 to 2, 1s2 2s2 2p2. Okay, but since the entire valency shell is your second shell, 2s and 2p come together. Okay, so the electron from 2s to jump from 2s to 2pz. So at that time your entire shell, valency shell, is participating. So we can't say that only half filled can participate, but the inner core means like the all those means electrons which are paired, which are in paired condition in valency shell can also participate in hybridization. Okay,